All right, so we are camping again this weekend, and we thought we might show you how we set up camp and the procedures to getting your campsite level and all set up and ready for a great weekend of camping. So the first thing we do when we get to a new spot and a new campsite is
we scope it out.
Yep, Allie jumps out, checks out the lay of the land, calls me on the phone.
Yep, and I look to see how far back we need to go. I think about the side with the awning to see if we have enough room. I guide them back in, and I always let them know when to stop by calling them on the phone.
Yeah, which was kind of funny. This campsite here, she was like, we're going to need a leveling block, probably one under the tires. So she puts them under the tires on
the wrong side.
That side.
And I had to tell them, oh, wrong side. I'm tired. It's been a long week of school teaching.
So that's the first thing, and that's the most common mistake.
And so you can see, if you look at the bubble, it's always going to be a little bit off, but as long as it's,
unless you
get
get
to zero, then you're good.
Yeah.
You can't really feel the difference.
And the most common mistake I've made, I should say, is unhooking the truck before we've got the side-to-side level.
That's right.
I've done that 2 or 3 times, and that's a pain here to tell you, having to rehook up the truck just so you can pull the truck up on some leveling blocks. So I think I've finally gotten that one in my brain because I haven't done it in a while.
And our next thing is to chock the tires.
Oh yeah, I forgot to chock the tires one night. I was so tired, and it was
when he unhooked it,
the trailer started sliding away from us.
Yep. Went right into a fence.
Yeah, and it ended up bending our jack. The second step is I put the X-Chocks on. This will keep this trailer from rolling back or forward and also stabilize it. One thing I did learn with these is that if your tires have gotten hot from driving, you'll need to come out and readjust them at some point because the tires swell when they get hot, and as they start cooling down, they contract back a little bit, and you'll be able to get a few more turns on this to stable it up a little bit more. And one other important thing to note, especially if you have slides, is to do this before you run your slides out, because there's been times where we've either forgotten or Allie's jumped the gun and ran the slide out, and it makes it a little more difficult to crawl under the slides to do this. So it's best just to get your side-to-side level first, then get your wheels chalked. Next step is I'm going to unhook from the truck. I just use these orange levelers to disconnect. Now, normally I would have my weight distribution hitch on, but because we're camping close to home, I didn't really feel we needed to use all of it, so I don't have the bars. So it makes it a little easier to disconnect here. Run the jack down. I will say one thing, normally I would leave this latched. If I did have the weight distribution bars on here, I would raise the truck up with it latched to relieve the pressure off of these bars that would normally be in here. Since I don't have that, I can just go ahead and unlatch it. I'm just going to go ahead and run it off. Sometimes I've noticed that the truck will get into a bind a little bit with the trailer. If you want to alleviate that and not have it just pop off all of it once, you can put the truck in neutral for a second, or have somebody sit in there with it neutral with their foot kind of on the brake, and it allows the truck to roll back and come off this ball a little easier.
Yep, so the next step is to pull the truck away, and that way it's free from the trailer. And then we need to bring this down.
Well, first we got to see where we're at level-wise.
Yep.
So as you can see...
So you want to tell me when to stop?
So we are high on the front end.
You always have somebody standing there looking at the bubble. Make sure it's at 0 or close to 0.
Good.
Okay.
All right, next step, we can go ahead and go on inside and start running the slides out.
It's coming out. Okay.
Now, we had already known that this slide was clear because we'd already looked. That's one thing you do have to make sure. Make sure that there's nothing that your slide's going to run out and hit. This slide on this side is fairly shallow, but there's nothing sticking out on the tree that I got to worry about.
And there she is. And what's the little trick we learned about the awning?
Yeah, so these shocks, it's best, we learned that you're best to like let it go a little bit and then stop. Let it go a little bit more, let it stop, let the shocks equalize. It'll keep them from wearing out too quickly. Same way going in. Again, make sure there's nothing that you're going to hit here. And
Everything's fine.
that's about all I'm going to do for now.
Okay.
And really the last step of setting up, as far as the trailer for me, outside, is breaking my feet. Because I made these, and I put them underneath the jacks, and I just run the jacks down. Just run the stabilizer jacks down. It's best if you can not have to run these down to where they're too far down, because the farther they go down, the less stable it gets. Same thing. Whoops, off center a little bit. And you can crank them down manually, but the drill makes it a lot easier. All right. And other than getting our rug spread out over here,
We need our grill.
yep. So really, out here, all I got to do is put the rug out, put our lawn chairs out, get our grill out. We're done. And it's time for Allie to clean the inside of the RV. But that's our setting up of a campground. And Nikki is not happy because she's still in the truck. And she's like, "What are y'all doing out here filming?"
Because normally you have me out by now.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to show you how we tear down camp. And usually what happens first is Allie will start cleaning up the inside, putting away dishes, doing dishes, etc., and getting everything secured on the inside while I start on the outside. So the first thing I will usually do on the outside is I will run the stabilizing jacks up. And once I've got all those, I will put these, my blocks that I created for it, back in their storage compartment. And put those away. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fold up our outdoor rug and put that back in the storage bay and put that away. And usually when I'm putting the rugs away, I'll go ahead and put the chairs away too. But right now, on this particular camping trip, we ended up picking up a couple new chairs, and these are the gravity chairs. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to stow these yet because they're quite big. So I'm going to save these probably till the end and put them in the back of the truck. I'm pretty much done on the outside at this point now. I'll run the slides in and I'll run the awning in, and but I have to wait for Allie to finish on the inside before I can do any of that. At this point, since I do have the stabilizing jacks ran up, I can go ahead and hook the truck up to the trailer, which I think I'll probably do that while she's finishing on the inside. Alright, so now the truck's hooked up. Really all I have left to do outside is wait for the slides to be ran in so I can take the X-chocks out between the wheels and put those away. And put the electrical cord away. Now, typically when we're staying at a RV park, that would be the last thing I do. But since we're boondocking this weekend and I'm done with the generator and I'm not going to use it anymore, I'm going to go ahead and run the cord back in the trailer now. And I'll run the last slide in, which is a kitchen slide. Okay, all the slides are in, the awning is in. Now just to get the X-chocks out from the wheels. Okay, last X-chock is out. And for the very, very last thing, we got to put our welcome mat right inside the door. Keeps most of the dirt. I already did the what we call the dummy check on the inside. Make sure everything is closed, cabinets wise, and put away. Allie puts the stairs away. Time to shut the door, lock the door, and you're forgetting something. Don't forget your handle if you have one. Now, basically at this point, it's just do a walk around and make sure everything is right and done correctly. The main thing is the hitch. I always double check the hitch, make sure the chains, make sure it's latched. And then, believe it or not, I almost pulled out one time and left the electric cord plugged in. So, like I said, we don't have that here, but make sure your garden hose is unhooked and anything you have hooked up. Cable. Oh, and one last thing I totally forgot, and that is if you have an antenna that raises up and lowers down, as we do, we have the antenna that raises up and lowers down. Make sure you've lowered it. And look here, look what we forgot. We forgot to put the bathroom vent down, so that's why you always do a double check. And as I said, we always do one last check around the whole rig because we actually forgot something. We forgot to put the bathroom vent down, which was probably not the end of the world. It'd have probably been okay, but I like to have all that stuff down and secured before we head out.
Did you get the antenna?
Antenna, I was telling them, don't forget the antenna if you have an antenna that cranks up. So we hope you found this video useful and maybe learned something from it. If you're new to RVing and you've just gotten your first rig or anything like that, and you just want a little course on how we set up our camp anyway. I mean, there's many ways you can do it, but this is the way we do it. And so we hope you like this video. And if you're new to our channel, we hope you'd subscribe and follow our adventures. And
give us a thumbs up.
Drop us a thumbs up. That helps the channel out. And we'll see you on our next adventure in Helen, Georgia.
Bye.
Bye.